1, test hangout 2. I already went through that. I'll keep doing it. My greatest failure. Okay, I get on here. I go, well, I'm going to have an event. Yeah. What's an event? Well, it's live. All right. It's recorded. Yeah. It's okay. So I'm going to schedule. What am I going to do? I'm going to invite to half a dozen people there I know on Google Hangouts. So I'm making this big deal. International Peace Conference. Invite this guy, that guy, this girl, that guy. The next thing I know, I couldn't even open my Hangout. I was trying for over I tried a half an hour early to get it open. And an hour later, finally I gave up. And I went and found somebody else I knew on the Hangouts. And I go, hey, I'm sorry, you know. I couldn't open my own Hangout. Yeah, that kind of cured me of that.
You gotta keep at it. Gotta keep at it. Can't give up.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I've been.
So then I did it again. Same thing happened. The second one, same thing. Locked up. Couldn't get a link. Couldn't get nothing. Another failure.
You mean locked up as in not a computer freeze? Do you mean?
No, I mean just I couldn't get anybody into my Hangout.
Right. Well, I can't either. So how the hell do you show up? I can't remember. But you keep showing up. That's good. But I sure would like to know how.
What about Diane? She showed up.
She did, but nobody seems to be able to remember how they got in.
Ah.
She said, I think what she said was she got an invitation in the email, and then she clicked on the link and did something after that, but doesn't really know quite what, you know. So, who knows?
I can't believe this is still going on. This difficulty. I just can't believe it.
Oh, I couldn't either.
Oh man, everybody's having this much trouble. Jeez.
I know I have. Believe me. Just really floundering when it comes to. I don't even know what this one an event is. You press a orange button or a red orange button, and it has a 1 on it, and I don't even know what it does, and I press it all the time.
Yeah.
Wish somebody could explain that to me. You would think they'd simply put an explanation as you hovered your mouse over it, like they do on other things. What is wanting an event? I don't know what wanting an event is, or a post, or whatever it is. It must.
Oh, I wonder if an event is a question and answer.
I don't know.
Where you're hosting. Yeah, I wonder if that's what they mean. Who knows? Take a guess.
Really?
Might be right, might be wrong.
Yeah.
I got a crippled guy coming tomorrow for Easter. He doesn't have anybody at all. Nobody. He's coming. Him and my brother-in-law are coming tomorrow.
Oh, good.
But I call him Roger, and that makes my wife mad because the crippled guy's name is Larry, and I keep calling him Roger, and my wife gets mad at me. He was a cryptographer in the spy corps, okay, for this country. He was one of them guys that lock in the big rooms and they decipher codes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys, I don't know, I think they got a lot of spy blood left in them. They'll probably be spying on me.
Yeah. Easter is tomorrow. Hell, I wasn't even keeping track. I knew we were getting near it. But
oh, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. You're in Detroit. It's Easter now here, then. Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about.
I got 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I got 10 minutes to 2 here. Well, that's cool.
This is the first year that I've just about eliminated all that Easter candy. I just can't take it anymore. That stuff is bad for you, all that sugar.
Oh, yeah. Well,
oh, my Lord, my wife is just like chocolate bunny after chocolate bunny. It's like ridiculous. I'm putting an end to that. I hate those things. Candy bars are alright, but not those bunnies.
Did you hear anything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's clicking pretty good.
I'm not hearing anything.
But when you go to your photo album, you got an option. You got an option to turn that off.
The sound?
And yeah.
No kidding. I haven't found it yet. I think that's obnoxious. The sound. Why would anybody want a sound in there? Makes sense to me.
Man, I don't know. The thing is, like I might have told you, one day I was on my home channel, my home page for my profile page for Google Plus, and I saw this thing that said something about photos, and I'm going, I didn't put any photos on Google Plus. What is this? So I double-clicked on it, and the next thing I know, I got about 20 pages of photos that I took at different hangouts.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I could never find them before. All of a sudden they show up.
Yeah.
It was like a total surprise months after I'd taken them all.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've been finding out. I've been spending most of the weeks intensively studying this thing. It's slowly kind of registering on me. Things that that you click on and you discover and it goes by, and then you're thinking to yourself, well, how the hell did I get there? And then eventually you come around and you get there again, and then it kind of sinks in, It's kind of a slow dawning how it works. So, just, the only thing I can say is just stay with it and immerse yourself in it until you think you're going nuts. And at some point it'll start to, the brain will assemble some pattern that it starts to make more and more sense. But trying to explain it to people and where to go and what thing to push, that's a little difficult yet. I'm not sure if that'll ever quite come along. Kind of weird.
Do you know what fusion energy is?
Do I know what is?
Do you know what fusion energy is?
Yeah, basically self-feeding energy. Isn't fusion where you can get a reaction going that just keeps going infinitely?
Yeah, it's going to be like some kind of steel tubes containing some kind of magnetic field, and it's going to be like a chemical or liquid inside these hollow chambers, but it's going to be a plasma field, and it's going to be superheated to like the maximum temperature, whatever it be, 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit or something. And it's just going to circle, and it's going to give off such a vast amount of safe energy, okay? Now, it's being developed, but how long is it going to take to develop this kind of safe energy? Is it going to take a couple hundred years, or is it going to take 10 years? Or do you know anything about it? It's new. It's fairly new. I was trying to get to the bottom of this issue. Have you heard of it? Plasma energy.
I do a lot of research on side issues. I haven't really gotten into researching that yet. If you're looking for any kind of anything, yeah, I think the new god is Google. If you have a question. Of course, that doesn't guarantee the information is accurate. But it's there. I mean, just typing a question. Their search engine has really come a long ways since I got on the net, that's for sure. You can just about find anything. I don't know. Encyclopedias went by the wayside, They're dinosaurs now.
Yeah, I used to sell encyclopedias. Sold one set.
Really?
Yeah, I sold one set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder, I wish I was born at a later time, it's it's interesting that this technology should come at a late age like it does. But on the other hand, I think you and I probably experienced the best of Western culture and society, when we were growing up. I think that
Yeah.
life back then was pretty simple.
Yeah.
Didn't have all this
Pretty
stuff being
nice.
thrown at you all over the place. Enough.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. They sure went to hell in a handbasket in a hurry. Jeez.
Well, it's nice to be able to look back and know what the kids don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
I thought getting old would be cool because then I could tell stories to the kids. Turns out I'm right. But I had
Yeah.
such a good time during the 60s. I don't remember that much of it, so I figured out if you start losing your mind, you can make stories up. Nobody, especially the young kids, they don't know any different.
It's a brave new world, my friend.
It is. What, do you got a lab tech mic there?
No, it's a Logitech.
Telex.
I got mine for $7.97
Cool.
about 10 years ago.
Still works.
Yeah. I dropped it a lot of times too.
Yeah, I can't wait for that big black Cadillac to show up tomorrow morning. I told him, I told my wife after last year she worked so hard making dinner for these guys, she just about had a stroke. And I told my buddy, I said, I got to help her this year, but I got news for them. When they get here, they can help cook everything too, just right along with everybody else. Because my wife's tired, she ain't young anymore. I told her, I said, just take it easy, make them help cook it.
Yeah, good idea.
Her brother weighs about 400 pounds, so maybe you could get involved.
Jesus.
He likes.
He likes to eat, huh?
You know, I just realized there's something called a food addict, which is every bit as similar to any other addiction that known to man. Okay, it took me all my life to realize, yes, it can be a serious addiction.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, anything can be a serious addiction.
yeah.
Including the internet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I just never get enough time. I'm already running around for my children here and there for my wife every other day. I can't get an hour or two online ever. And when I do get online, they go, that's all you do? You spend all your time on there. I go, what are you, nuts, compared to what you spend on your TV? Hey, get real. That TV is the biggest way. And you know what? Joel, they give me on Jeopardy, and I'm on there, and out of Jeopardy, I can answer maybe 3 questions out of the 15 questions. And I blurt out answers, but I blurt out wrong answers too that, to me they make sense. I blurt out wrong answers. But my boy and my wife, they sit there, they don't even blurt out one answer. I go, how can you enjoy it? You guys, you never say anything. I said, let's participate. And, I don't know what they see in that show. And you've seen one, you've seen them all. Jesus Christ. I don't care for it. Waste of time.
Yeah.
Walking encyclopedia. You won again.
Yeah. What's all that data being able to recall that stuff do for you anyway?
Yeah. Yeah. Who was the, what was the Jetsons' dog name or something? Was one, or maybe that was another show. I don't
What
know.
was Jed Clampett's dog's name?
Yeah, there you go. That was a winner. They had a boxer on there who couldn't act, and then they had Ellie Mae. She couldn't act, and then they had Buddy Ebsen. He couldn't act too well. The only one who could act on that show was that Granny. Now she was a pretty good actress. Granny.
Yeah.
That show was so cornball. Gee, many Christmas. Everybody loved it. Of course, everybody models their whole life after TV. TV becomes a historical reference point if you haven't noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you want to refer to something, they'll go, wait a minute. You know, when Mom married Pa, that was the same year that the Hillbillies, remember the show The Hillbillies came out? That was the same year that Jesse married Billy. Yeah, I know it was, because that's when that show come out. Remember? Look it up. They'll tell you. Everything's a reference to TV.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that TV is not good. And I tell everybody, and the one guy had a comment on there, tell your friends and relatives that you'll come over and destroy their TV for them for a gift. That wouldn't go over too big.
Probably not.
Everybody's addicted to it. There's so many people addicted to TV, and if you watch TV, the first time, if you've never seen a TV in your life, it's been tested. It will take like 7 to 11 minutes or something, and you will be hypnotized in a hypnotic state. Your brain waves will be in a hypnotic state. But after that initial attempt, the second time, it will take you like 6 minutes, or half that time. By the third time you watch that TV, you are hypnotized. I think it's in 2 minutes. You are in a hypnotic state. And that's what's happening to the billions of people now. They're all in a hypnotic state. They don't even know it. They're being programmed by the programs. Good Lord. And the violence, Joel. Have you seen the violence on TV? Jeez, if you don't have at least $50 million worth of ammo shot up every other show, what is wrong with it? And then these lawyer shows, the proliferation of all these lawyer shows. What is the fascination with a lawyer show? It's ridiculous. It's absurd. Jeez.
It is.
Judge Judy and Judge Alex and Judge Joe Brown and this. Oh man, there's something wrong.
Yeah, well, it's not only they're hypnotized, mesmerized, but they go into la la land. They're not even here anymore. They're just
That's right.
sucked into into this big fantasy. Amazing.
Yes. Yes.
They did a study and they found out that people were more likely to watch TV than the actual real live event. They noticed that during the JFK assassination, when the coffin was being transferred, people were looking at the monitors, not at the actual event. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, you get used to it after a while.
There's a fascination about seeing it on a boob tube, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I used to watch Howdy Doody Show and Buffalo Bob and Clarabelle and all of them back in the day, but it's not like that anymore. Everything is, when you watch TV, is to sell something. The show's to sell something.
Right, exactly.
Especially those cartoon shows. Good Lord Almighty! It's just all those action figures and all those SpongeBob dolls. And
what do you think of Family? What is it, Family Man or
Family Guy?
Family Guy? Yeah, yeah. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, my wife laughs her tail off at Family Guy. Yeah, I watched a few of them. They're funny. Hank Hill. You ever watch Hank Hill, Propane? My work is propane. My wife laughs like crazy when she sees that show.
Nah,
Yeah.
I gave up watching a lot of TV to practically nothing for many years, and then I went back to it when I finally hooked up my internet cable because it had to be kind of like a package, basic cable TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was to my cable company offered me a deal on installation for each room for like $10.
Yeah.
So I put the cable throughout my entire house.
Oh, that's nice.
The way I could do that is to subscribe to the TV portion, but I really wanted it for the internet.
Yeah.
So when that came back, I started looking at some of the TV, and it hurt my head. I noticed things gotten even more flashier. Everything's just flash and glitter now.
Yeah.
Images are going by so fast, and graphics are great, but it just like is hypnotic.
Yeah, and we wonder how much subliminal messaging is put into those things. So,
I think subliminal worked for a while, but I think it's right in your face now. I don't think they have to be. Once they got you used to being hypnotized.
yeah. What do you think of the Chinese coming into our country and setting up free trade zones, no
Yeah.
manufacturing centers, and apartment buildings and banks?
Don't they own this country?
Does that bother you that the Chinese are coming in and building nice new banks
Nah.
and free trade zones and stuff? Does it scare you? Does it frighten you? Does it worry you at all or not? Maybe it
No.
doesn't bother you.
No. I have a different perspective on everything.
Well, my cousin, when I told him he's running for Attorney General of Idaho, state of Idaho. So I saw him at the family reunion. I says, "Hey, I heard people are moving out of Idaho. The Chinese communists are moving in." People don't like that. They don't like the Chinese moving into here. There's going to be some kind of apartment buildings and a little manufacturing thing in there and everything. He looked at me and he goes, basically, here's what he said, Joel. Don't be worried. I'm one of the guys that's responsible for helping him get that set up. Don't worry. It's just to make things in free trade. It's just to make things work easier and stuff. Don't worry. Don't worry about the Chinese communists. They're our friends. No harm will befall you. Everything is fine. Yes, and I might be the next Attorney General of Idaho. Yeah. But he had to change his name, Joel, because his name was Christ, Chrisist.
Ooh.
And when my cousin is running for Idaho Attorney General, he had to change his name from Christ or Christ. He didn't want to campaign with it. He thought it would work against him, so he changed his name to CJ Troopus or something. CJ. He didn't want to be called Christ Troopus. He wanted to be called CJ or something. Well, if it helps him win, I mean, Attorney General of the state of Idaho, wow. Maybe I better vet off that way and see if I get a job or something. Maybe he's got a position open. I don't know.
Yeah.
Secretary. Yeah. But he's run for other things, and I don't know what happened. He was going to be a senator of Idaho. I guess he didn't win that. He didn't become a senator of Idaho. It's too bad. I got the bumper sticker out there.
Yeah, I usually politics, isn't it?
why do these lawyers, even my cousin, he's a lawyer, and my dad goes, remember that he's going to be on TV. So I watch my cousin on TV. Because these religious people, they oversold their timeshares in their colony of their cabins in their rest area or whatever. They oversold and they couldn't deliver on the goods as promised. And so my cousin was their attorney. Here's what my dad said: Ted, do you know that your cousin made so much money on that case? He'll never have to work again as long as he lives. I'm thinking, wow, must be nice. But he's continued on as a lawyer for many years after that. And I guess if you're a lawyer, there's a good chance you might be making quite a bit of money in this country. And look at our Congress, all lawyers. Because I asked my dad before he died, what happened to this country, Dad? It used to be great. And he had a one-word answer for me: lawyers. My family's loaded with them. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Loaded. I mean, absolutely loaded with lawyers. Yeah.
Hey, why do
Wow.
they bury lawyers 40 feet down?
I'm not sure. Why
Because
do they?
deep down they're good inside.
That's a good one. I like that. Oh, my dad likes that. He's not even here right now. He's gone. Yeah. Yeah. My uncle went to Harvard, and my dad, I saw all the checks. My dad told me, I saw all the checks your grandpa was sending money to so he could go to college in Harvard. Yeah. That was a good deal. Yeah, that's the rich side of the family. Yeah. That was the only thing. I said, Dad, how come people have so much money? Some people, and we saw these yachts going by on the river, about 50 of them or 20 of them, huge, big yachts on a small river. And I asked my dad, I said, where in the hell would somebody get the money to buy something that big? How could they afford it? And he goes, I'll tell you right now. He said they either inherited it, they did something crooked, illegal, or they cheated somebody out of it. I go, yeah, okay. Well, sounds about right. Something illegal. They cheated somebody out of it, or they inherited it. So that's how the rich people really got all that money. I know. One guy robbed a bank, a couple of them, and you know what? He got 9 years in the penitentiary. I just saw it in the paper.
Really?
9 years. I'm thinking, actually, I hope you don't hate me saying this, but I'm thinking he had a record and he only got 9 years. I'm thinking that might not be enough. Maybe about 20 years or something. Maybe you got to rob thousands of dollars from a bank, threaten the people. But I guess 9 years is enough. My wife goes, 9 years? Well, what? She thought that was a long time. I guess it is. You're locked up. I wouldn't know. I've never really had that problem.
All right.
Thank God. You know, that's not good. That's not good.
We got a guy here that at my facility just came in a few weeks ago. He was in prison. He got pinched for selling LSD during the 60s and he spent a total of 14 years in prison. That's
Not right.
He's got some interesting stories to tell. I pick his brain all the time on stuff, but he's always got something interesting to say. Hey, Lisa, you know, if you want to know about prison life, very very, very interesting. I've featured him a number of times on Mr. Bridges' Neighborhood, you know. I like human interest stories. I think the stories are very interesting. You get to ask people the right questions, you know, and if they're willing to answer. You know, the greatest story ever told is the one you're living in, you know. But there are some people that know how to tell a good story and other people don't. You know, it's all a story. What do they say? It can take certain liberties, storyteller's license. Make it a little bit bigger than life to make it fit. You know?
Yeah, I'm working on a story, but it's so far out I don't even know if I should tell you about it.
Yeah, I've heard some wild stuff.
Involves hours and hours and hours of research
really?
on the net. And I've come to the conclusion that all these cattle mutilations are real, and there are people from another planet doing it. And it's the basis for the original vampire legends, and it's actually happening because I looked at it logically. And so I'm writing my book about it, but my book is actually, you know, it's going to be, I'm going to tell everybody it's a true story and that we got a plan for this to exterminate these blood-sucking agents. But actually, I'm going to tell them it's true and it's a warning and you must read my book. But actually, the basic part, all I know is a fact, is the mutilations themselves of the cows and the horse and a few cats and so on. And one human being, one or two human beings, one in South America. But, yeah, I've got the cover for my book. I've got a couple pages done, and I've been thinking about it for years now. And I'm thinking about putting it out as an e-book.
Oh, yeah.
So I just got to get started on it, get a few pages done, a few chapters, and you know. We had one of those cattle mutilations not too far from here. We had one 45 minutes from here. We had one. I read it. I copied the FBI report and everything else. Another unsolved. See, most people don't realize these cattle mutilations. Oh, they go, you're nuts. You cattle mutilations. You're crazy. It's a satanic cult. That's what my wife said just today. It's a satanic cult. No, it isn't. Think about how smart these cops are. You see it every day on these idiotic cop shows. We can examine the soil, every atom of that soil we picked up where that guy stepped, and we can tell he worked at the chemical factory making something. And we know all this, and we have all the tools. And that's the first thing they told me when I was a juror on a federal crack cocaine trial that they hoodwinked me into going to. They won't hoodwink me again. I'll tell you, they won't ever pick me for a jury again after what happened. No, that was a good deal. I'm glad they picked me. And so with a couple of those other guys, too, or they would have got a life sentence if it wasn't for me. But that's another story. Yeah.
Well, I think that UFO stuff is, I think that they've been around for millions of years.
Why not?
Well, it seems like shouldn't be any reason why not. Let's say they were 1 million years ahead of us in technology. Seems to me they could have arrived quite a while ago.
You know what they say? It's a small universe.
Yeah.
Like we say, it's a small world. But
yeah, have you ever heard
what I was starting to tell you is what convinced me was there has never, with their, like they told me at the federal cocaine trial, we have every bit of surveillance equipment, we have every electronic gadget, and we have every ability and knowledge how to use this equipment, and we have all the proof and evidence, and because we have all this powerful, sophisticated equipment, there is no stopping us. And by the way,
The camera was in the narcotics agent's hat. Ha ha! The guys didn't even expect it. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They have all this sophisticated equipment. There is not one iota of forensic evidence of a footprint of, or anything near a cattle mutilation. That's what I based the whole premise of my book on. And these people have the equipment to find evidence if there is evidence. That's what I'm saying. And now it's not our government. I can guarantee you that our government wouldn't waste billions of dollars doing idiotic stuff like that, dropping cows out of saucers. They don't have the resources. They're too busy digging underground.
Yeah. Well, they say
you are aware that the whole United States is honeycombed underground with huge roads and tunnels running for hundreds, if not thousands, of miles under the continent.
Oh yeah. Sounds good.
Oh yeah, I've seen it with my own eyes.
Really?
I've seen it on YouTube.
Ah, cool.
That can't be good either. With that, coupled with all the fracking they're doing.
Yeah.
Very bad. That fracking, that makes me so mad when I think about what fracking is doing, and they don't even care. They don't. Oh, it's safe. They tell you it's safe. It's not safe. They've had example of failures. It's just what? There's nothing stopping them. Nothing. Nobody can stop them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to have to get active. I'm going to have to start speaking up. Our first thing is to get some of these nuclear power plants shut off. I think we're going to have to go back to coal. I don't care what they say. I like coal-fired. It's old-fashioned, but it works, you know. The waste, the waste isn't as bad. It's bad, but not, the way it is. Those coal miners in West Virginia, you know, they're so mad at Obama. He put them all out of a job in West Virginia. They hate him. It's something I just found out. But we got coal in Illinois. We got a lot of coal in southern Illinois. I suppose we could mine that.
Yeah.
My buddy lived right near the world's, not the world's, it might have been the world's, the United States' first commercial nuclear reactor. This is exactly what he told me. You know, I used to fish in that lake right there in that river there that they built that reactor on. I used to fish there, and I just catch the nicest fish. Well, a year or two after they built the reactor, he says, I went back there, and I was catching fish, and they had big sores on them, and they were deformed. And I didn't even want to fish there anymore after that reactor got going.
Oh boy.
So he said that was the world's first commercial reactor, or not world's first, maybe. Yeah, it's still going down the road here, about an hour and a half from here. I'm surrounded by nuclear power plants. It scares me to death. I don't know. You got any up your way?
No, Maine Yankee closed down a few years back. I don't know what they're doing about it now. We had one 40 miles southeast of us.
Yeah. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you look into the nuclear industry, you're going to be astonished, like I was, to find out they had a much safer way and a much safer design, but they didn't give it a chance. And we would have had a much safer system. And it's just like anything else. The people that had the money and got the jump on it, and the first people to come up with this other idea, I guess they were in a more powerful position, and they just ramrodded their way through. And It's just amazing what you can find out about when you check back in history what actually happened. And like storing this nuclear waste on the second story of any building, it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound safe.
Yeah.
Did you hear the one about the guy with the crab? And he was a researcher, and he in Japan, but he come back and well, I'm gonna have a big crab dinner, and he got this crab, and he was getting ready to cook it all up. Did you hear that one? And he said, "Wait a minute, I got a Geiger counter here." And he checked that crab, and that thing was so radioactive, and he was supposedly got it in the United States. He said he couldn't get the radiation out from under his fingernails.
Wow.
Just wonder how true that is. I already told my wife, I said, don't buy any more tuna. I'm not eating any tuna at all. I'm not taking a chance. When they say that cesium-134 and cesium-137, what it does is it accumulates in your heart muscle, in your thick muscles. And maybe you've noticed in the paper a lot of people dying in their 50s unexpectedly, 52, 55 years old, 45, unexpected heart attacks.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. And then did you hear about the mutations in Washington State? The one nurse was talking to the other nurse. Geez, we've had a lot of these kind of mutations. And the other nurse goes, oh my God, we have too. Way more. There's supposed to be like 1 out of 100,000. They had a half a dozen already. And they did a research check, and they checked all the conditions of the poor people and the rich people, and they compared everything, and they go, there's no commonality there. There's nothing, no connection. All these people having the same defect. It's in this, so they're thinking that might have something to do with the incidental radiation coming from the nuclear burnout zone.
Wow.
So it's an ongoing cover-up. I think it's going to make a good Google Hangout, but I don't know. I probably won't get too many visitors. I never have my other Hangouts. I got 1 or 2.
Yeah. Well, when you get a chance, invite me to your Hangout if you get it up and running.
Yeah. I sure will. I sure will.